Are you looking for a really fun racing movie that's an amazing IMAX experience? F1 is going to do it for you. Are you looking for a well written movie? You need to look elsewhere. This is a blatant attempt to make Top Gun Maverick 2.0 for Brad Pitt. It's got the same writer and director. Joseph Kosinski, I'm kind of skeptical on. When you look at his filmography, I'm not certain that he can actually deliver a good movie. I love Top Gun Maverick, but the rumor is a lot of what is great about that movie is because of Christopher McQuarrie, even though he's uncredited. The writer, Aaron Kruger, is awful. Just take a look at his filmography right here. He can't write a good movie to save his life. Stop hiring this guy. Who is he friends with? Like I said, as an IMAX experience, a 2.5 hour roller coaster ride, fun racing scenes, this movie delivers. It's really cool, really exciting. So I want to get that positive out of the way because the rest of this is going to be negative. I mentioned this movie is 2.5 hours. That's 30 minutes too long. It's reasonably paced, but just too long. Part of the reason this doesn't work as Top Gun Maverick 2 is because Brad Pitt is just not Tom Cruise. The performances as a whole are just alright. There's people I love here like Carrie Condon, who just aren't given very much to do with the poor script, and I think that is the underlying issue here. The script is fine, but it's just a skeleton, and a generic one at that. It hints at backstories and motivations, and it acts like side characters should matter to build out the world, but none of these things ever amount to anything. There's characters like Luca Cortez, who is introduced as if he should be a source of conflict, and even appears as proof that they cast an actor to play this character, but he simply does not matter. And the themes about risk-taking and teamwork, these are just so played out and generic. One major issue this script has is there is no conflict or rivalry outside of the main racing team. I get that this movie is committing to having real racers as their opponents, so there's a limited amount of things that they can do to actually work them into the story, but it makes it so that I feel nothing when we actually beat these people in the races. I have no idea who they actually are beyond them being famous racers. Make them matter in the story. There's tons of generic stuff inserted in here like it's an obligation. For instance, the flaccid love story with a hilariously edited sex scene, which was also one of Top Gun Maverick's flaws. On that note, the female characters in this movie are atrocious. There's 3 of note. One exists solely to be angry and horny at Brad Pitt. Carrie Condon is supposed to be really smart, but Brad Pitt is apparently way smarter than her when it comes to racing, and so she serves just as an object of his desire. The third is a one-note side character who just should not be here. The movie acts like she is a character just so they can demean her for a scene and then throw her out for the rest of the movie. Why? The female characters in this movie are a joke. I was getting really frustrated with the poor use of locations in this movie. We were going all around the world, and seeing the real racetracks was awesome, but I wanted to see more of the locations around the tracks. And then the movie gets to Vegas, and it feels like they spent almost all of their location shooting budget on Vegas. We hit so many tracks where I didn't get a sense of what that country actually was like. And it would have been cool to get that. The soundtrack in this movie is really repetitive. It's cool for what it is, and I enjoyed it a lot, actually, when the movie started. But as the movie continued, I found it to just be really one note. A sad attempt to emulate something like what Challengers did. And the ending song was just hilarious. The ending was so cheesy, went on far too long. I don't know if it wanted to be Mission Impossible or Interstellar or what. Now, I'm not an F1 fan, but my understanding is also that the way Brad Pitt's character drives in this movie is super illegal in the actual sport and not something drivers can actually do. So you have to suspend your disbelief if you're interested in the actual sport. One other thing I want to mention about this movie, the product placement is the most egregious I've seen in a minute. That's usual for sports movies. I understand that racing to a certain extent does look like this in real life, but almost every single shot of the movie has an ad in it. It is absolutely insane. And it's even advertising Apple products, of course, like Brad Pitt's AirPod Maxes. So, after all of that negativity, I do want to go back to the beginning and say once again, I enjoyed the movie when it came to the racing, and that is a lot of the movie. So, overall, I still had a decent time at the movies. I enjoyed my IMAX experience. But I'm an AMC A-list member. I don't have kids to bring to the movies. I don't pay a ton of money every time I go to see something in IMAX. Depending on how much you have to spend to go to the movies, this movie might not be worth it for you, but I had a good time despite it not being a great movie. Two recent movies I'd highly recommend over this one that I thought of. One, Ford vs. Ferrari, because it's a far better racing movie with better characters and equally awesome race scenes. Two is Challengers, a sports movie with an interesting soundtrack that I think F1 is actually inspired by, and I would really urge you to check it out. That's all for F1. Go see it if you want a good IMAX experience. If you're not going to see it in theaters, I don't know if I'd ever watch this one, honestly. I want to thank everybody for their support last week on my most viewed video yet with the analysis of 28 years later and the ending of the movie. If there are other movies you want to see analyzed like that or just want to hear my thoughts on in general, please let me know in the comments so I can cover the types of movies that you all want to see. I hope you all have a good time at the movies, and I will see you back here next week for Jurassic World Rebirth. I really hated Dominion, so this one is going to be interesting.